Marwa is a philanthropist. Marwa give and give and give and give. And I'm like, you guys know that the height of Marwa. I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
This is Discloses TV.
My name is Stephon. My YouTube channel is I am Stephon. I was born and raised in Anguilla. It's one of the smallest, most northerly islands. 35 square miles, 33 white sand beaches. Some of it got a little tint of pink, but we are like Kenyans, very resilient, beautiful, proud, and strong people. A few. Kuna Matata, Asante, and I know a few more, but it's not jogging my memory right now. Actually, I've been following Marwa for years. The first time I saw Marwa, he was in Bogota, Colombia. I think it was Colombia. I'm not sure if it was Bogota. And he was missing a tooth. I don't know if you guys knew that, if you guys follow him back then. And he had less than 1,000 subscribers. I was intrigued with him because I'm like, this guy is on camera, on television, with a missing tooth, and he did not let that slow him down. And he worked diligently every single day, learning Spanish. And I don't know how hard Spanish is to compare with Swahili. To me, it's hard. And I just was not infatuated, but intrigued, his work ethic. And I've been following him ever since. And I finally met him prior to my birthday this year in September. And it's been love ever since. But I have been following him for a while. Absolutely. When I met Marwa, I had 514 subscribers. And right now I like 2,400. The crazy thing about it is I only put up one video introducing myself to the world, and I have not been able to put up another video. There was always an obstacle. I went through two different computers, two different style computers, Apple and Hewlett Packard, and wasn't able to put nothing up, no data, and I've been recording for 3 months, actually more than 3 months. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to stress myself about it. And even though it stresses me out that I can't get it, and I normally a tech savvy kind of guy, and I say when I go there, I will sit with Fine and Ian, and I will get my videos up and out. And I spoke to Ian yesterday, and Ian was like, I got you. So me and Ian is going to sit down today and get some info out there and get some videos up there for you guys. I was on top of the world. And like I said, I kind of felt bad that Marwa went out his way to, push me, and I didn't.
You did nothing. You're just there.
That's just there. And like I said, I got frustrated every time I get an error, and I walk away just to stay calm.
But now you have decided you are going to do it now.
Absolutely. Like I said, I have content, 3 months worth of content, and I travel more than 40 countries. And it's just time to get my information out there. And I am 100% pleased to be in Kenya. No, this is my third time in Africa. But Marwa asked me, he said, bro, I need you to be at my party. And I said, no problem. But then the obstacles started. I had an issue with my passport, and I wasn't able to get into the country. I purchased a ticket, but I couldn't go ahead and commit to an e-visa. They wouldn't allow me because my passport expired from the time I landed less than 6 months. So I basically was on hold, and I was wondering, should I go ahead and pause this trip? And I could hear it in Marwa's voice. He was very, very disappointed. And I was like, man, I kind of felt bad. So one day I was talking to a friend of mine in St. Martin, and she said, why you sound so? I said, because I can't go to Kenya. And she said, why? I said, I have issues with my passport. She said, all right, hold on a second. She come back on the phone and said, take this guy's number. He's in Miami, and call him right now. Guys, I call him. But before I call him, they said expedited passport takes between 5 and 7 weeks. And I'm like, I can't do that. So I didn't have no choice but to cancel. So I called up the gentleman, and he said, all right, come to my office tomorrow. Come today. I said, I can't, because it was like in the middle of the day. So I said, I will be there at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I jumped in my car and I went. And guys, 3 days later, I had my passport. 3 days. He told me it's going to take 2 weeks. And then I went on a Wednesday. Then on the following Wednesday, I'm like, it's a week. I didn't get an email stating that it was processed. So I was like, oh man, stomach is just nervous. And so I called him and I said, hey, did they process it? He said, what are you talking about? He said, the passport has been in your mailbox since Friday. I said, Friday? That was 2 days after I applied. So I kind of felt bummed out and I was relieved. So I felt better. So now I went to go do my e-visa, and there's a company called, maybe I shouldn't call the name, but I'm going to call them Sherpa. So when I went ahead to look for a Kenya visa, it said, oh, it's going to take 2 weeks. Another obstacle. And then it was $54 for the e-visa and $54 for the processing fee. And I'm like, this is robbery. Yeah. But because I was thinking it was Kenya government. And I went ahead and I finally got my passport now. So I went ahead and I request to Sherpa, and they said, oh, you have to contact the government of Kenya. I said, but I thought I was. So I contact them. The e-visa turned out to be $51.
Not 54.
Not 54, but there was no processing fee. And I got approval in 2 days. But the reason why, like I said, I knew about the government of Kenya, because Sherpa told me, you have to go to them because there's not enough time for them to respond. Because there's a third party. They send it out to the government of Kenya, and the Kenya government respond to them, and then they respond to me. So I didn't realize that was a third party. I thought that was the official site. So I beat that obstacle as well. And I am here today in Kenya, and I am glad I made that decision to come to Kenya. Marwa is a philanthropist. Marwa give and give and give and give. And I'm like, you guys know that the height of Marwa. I'm a big guy.
Yeah, sure.
And Marwa is a lot smaller than me. But for a person to be such of a small stature and have such a big heart, man, he's always giving. Very courteous, very kind. And when I see this Villa Medellin on television, is like on YouTube, I'm like, man, what's the big hype? And I'm like, when I come here, I'll see, and I started like, it's not that big from this side. But when I was over there sitting, I'm like, oh, wait a second. This is like a mansion. And I was like, no wonder why he's always, running back and forth. And, he complained about the issues he was having, especially with the plumber. We all know the issues he had with the plumber. So, but I did not realize how big this compound and how big this building is. So, and I know a lot about construction. And I was shocked to see the size of this property. Well, I've been to 3 countries in Africa. Burundi. And there's a reason why I wanted to go to Burundi, which is known as the poorest country in the world.
Yeah, sure.
And I've been to Accra, Ghana. And Kenya. Ghana is beautiful. I mean, Burundi is on the bottom. Not to downplay Burundi. Kenya is on a whole different ball game. So it's like Kenya is a criminal crime. And the people is so kind, so welcoming. And guys, everyone, when I got off the plane, the first thing the lady told me, she said, welcome home. And that really, really made me feel good. And everybody I speak to, even Marwa sent me a message a week ago, and he said, bro, I can't wait for you to come home. And I said, home? So he responded, laugh, and he said, Kenya. So when I got into the taxi, the guy said, welcome home. I spoke to Sentaki father, and he said, welcome home. So his mom, congrats mom, big up to congrats mom. She put up her hand to greet me, and I said, I don't shake hands. I hug. And that's what I do. I hug ladies. And so she said, welcome home. And the expression on her face was like, man, I am home. I have 2 homes. Angola,
Yes.
and Kenya.
Yeah.
I live in the United States, but that's not home. That's not home. That's where I reside, but that's not home. I did, and I really wanted to taste ugali on camera because there was so much hype,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I said, man, I have to eat it. The first night, I said, I have to eat it, and it was like nearly midnight. Actually, it was midnight, and I was like, I know I have to stay up all night because it's gonna be right on my stomach.
Yeah.
So the first big piece of ugali, I put it in the other hand and I roll it, I squeeze it, and I'm like, all right, this is the way I see it. And I had spinach, so I dip the spinach in it, eat it, and I'm like, interesting. I tasted this before.
Yeah.
I tasted before, and I say, you know what? The next spoon, the next grab, I will eat it, and I realize what it is. We cook this in Anguilla.
Okay.
We call it corn fungi, but that's what it is. Our corn fungi is more yellow.
Okay.
It's like really, really yellow, like lemon.
Yeah.
And but like I said, I realized I ate ugali or fufu before. We just call it by a different name. It will not be like this. And I like the vibe here. I like the energy, and the weather is beautiful.
This is Clayson TV.